say this now, I'm not scared of nothing. Like, if I can't even take my own stuff out, what makes you think somebody else can do it? No, like, not under God's watch.
Is it how you move, how you smile, how you captivate everything, how the body move, pretty eyes, got it all, you killing the scene. I want you to be mine.
Greetings, my amazing A-listers, and welcome to another beautiful day with A. I am so grateful to be here, and I trust that you all are well. If you're not, I'm sending you all the good vibes. For those of you who are new, my name is A, and I'm your favorite mindset and meditation mentor. Here at Experience A-List, I help women reclaim their self-worth by putting themselves first by creating self-fulfilling routines through meditation and accountability sessions. A-List is a list of alchemizing women of the highest order of divinity, excellence, and admirable eminence. We make it happen. We don't make excuses. So, as you can see, my hair is different. I actually didn't record, and I am taking accountability for this, but I actually really didn't want to record until I had my hair done. And I actually braided my own hair. I typically always do, unless if it's like a different type of styles of braids, but these are my go-to when I don't want to wear my natural hair. It is hot in Miami, so wearing my actual natural hair and blowouts is not going to be the thing. I'm going to be looking like a frizz doll. So I was like, let me just put some braids in so I don't have to think about it. I was tired of putting my hair in a ponytail. So yeah, I'm here now recording a video. So today's topic is going to be about more so learning to love yourself and embracing your journey even through hell. And this came up during a past few days of me just meditating, especially the season that we're in. We're in Virgo season right now. I love Virgos. Hands down, is my favorite sign. I'm a Pisces, and the opposite sign of me is Virgo, but I'm also a Pisces sun, Virgo moon and rising, so I have like a lot of Virgo energy in me, and hence why I was saying the thing about my hair. Like, I just feel like I just want things to be just perfect. Even though I know everything is not going to be perfect, I just like things to be a certain way. And so that's why I'm here. I'm just grateful that I'm able to still pick up from where I left off. And this time of the year is always sensitive for me. The reason that it is a memorable time for me, because trigger warning, I'm going to say trigger warning, because this is something that is very serious and very dear to my heart and sensitive that I have talked about it on Instagram briefly a year ago, and some of my friends and family closest to me, they know this story, but I'm going to open up and tell you all because I think it's very important, especially because of how far I've come and where I am currently in my life and what I do, especially having this community and having this channel. So on September 5th, 2017, that was 7 years ago, I made the decision to attempt suicide. And I did that because I was just so overwhelmed and I felt defeated and extremely emotional about the place that I was in. So in 2017, in fall 2017, I was a junior in college, and I had just got out of this superficial toxic relationship. And of course, when I broke up with the person, I was still feeling, emotionally attached. And the reason I broke up with them is because I wanted attention from them. I felt like they weren't hearing me out. And I was really just in this codependent, desperate state of being. I just remember that it was like, I don't think we had even broken up for a full week, but I had went to one of his frat parties, and we were there, and we basically was kind of making each other jealous, but he did something that really like triggered me, and it was just like taking me like over the top, and he wasn't really giving me the attention that I wanted. And I decided the next day that I wanted to unalive myself, and he was just a cherry on top of the things that I was already dealing with as far as my career goes, finishing school, my mom, just like really trying to live up to this high expectation. And so when I talk about school and career goals, so at that time I was I had 2 jobs. I had like about 5 classes that I was taking that semester, on top of an internship that I was doing, on top of going through that breakup. So for me, I am a workaholic. Like, I just love to work. And so me working so much and then having that many classes on top of that relationship and then the breakup and then the emotional, like, it just really took me out. Well, it didn't take me out, but it really put me to that breaking point. And so my roommates at the time, I was just crying to them. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be here and all this stuff. So I took I don't know, you know how like half of a gallon of milk, I can't think right now, but basically think about a half gallon of milk, like that jug. So I had a cup that was like that size. I would say probably about 60 to 70% of it was alcohol, and then the rest of it was like juice. And so I decided to go, and I took it and I drank the whole thing. And the last thing I remember was telling my roommate, like, I don't want to be here. I can't do this. This is like not my life. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I looked at the time. I think it was like around like 8 going on 9, or if not 9 o'clock. And so I remember taking it and then going in my room. I went in my room. I don't remember nothing. Like, I don't remember what happened. I know I locked the door, but I was just like in this emotional state of being. And I, basically crashed out. And so when I woke up, it was like 5 a.m. and all I saw was my mom sitting next to me hooked up to IVs, and I was in the hospital. And it was just like, whoa, I can't believe that happened. And at that time, I was not close to my mom. Well, I wasn't really close to my mom growing up, as far as like being open to her about like things that triggered me and bothered me. But yeah, I was really just like in a state of shock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like basically I felt like, dang, I'm exposed, like I got caught. And I had to speak up, I had to talk. And for me at that time, my throat chakra was extremely blocked. Like, I did not know how to voice my opinions. I did not know how to express myself. I did write a lot and journal, and of course sometimes I did talk to my friends about things, but for the most part, the things that were really like serious and like what I feared and like just that vulnerable emotional part of me, I just did not open up. And so to my mom, I just literally had to tell her everything. And it was pretty sad. She didn't even know I felt the way that I felt. She didn't even know. Well, of course she didn't know because I didn't tell her, but she did not understand how much pressure I was under, how much pressure she was putting me under, and just like all the things that were going on. And so I just felt so helpless at that point. And I just felt like, wow, I can't believe I let myself go to this emotional state of being. And I'm still feeling emotional about the person that I was with. And so fast forward, I would say some hours later, the psychiatrist, they came in to see me and all this stuff. I was in and out of sleep. And they were looking at me like I was crazy, which I could understand, because it's like, attempting to unalive yourself, that is very serious, especially on a college campus, and seeing all these things. And so I was still worried about my ex. I'm like, oh my God, like, I want him to be here. I want him to talk to me. You think he was? No, he wasn't. He didn't care. And my friends, they were worried about me. And so basically my mom had left for like a moment, and I had woke up, and that's when the psychiatrist, and it really felt like some American Horror Stories, the Asylum like series. Like, he came in with these white coats. He had this pale white face, crystal blue eyes, just really just there on some, business type of thing. And he was talking to me. He had this thick accent. I think he was Russian or something. He was just asking me questions. And then they were like, basically he told me if I don't sign these papers, they basically said something. It basically scared me. I think it was along the lines like I was gonna get kicked out of school, or something else was gonna happen to me. I don't know. And I was just like, oh my God, like, okay. So I signed it. I didn't even read it. I just signed it. I was admitting myself into a psych ward. I didn't even know what that was. I really did not know what that was, but I just did it because I was scared. Like, they were just pressuring me. Like, could you imagine you just lay on the bed like this and you were just waking up and these people come in and they're hovering over you saying, like, if you don't do this, this is going to happen to you, type of thing. And my mom was in there because she vouches for me. Like, I ain't even going to lie. I'm not a confrontational person, but anytime I had issues or troubles, I'm hitting her up. Like, she's going to go to war. Like, she has time. Like, she has time to do that. Me, I don't. She has the time and energy, and I don't. But she wasn't there. And so I signed the papers and everything. Basically, I just admitted myself into the psych ward voluntarily. And it was a very daunting feeling. And then when she came back, she was so upset and she was mad. She was mad at me, but she was more so mad at them because they basically took advantage of the opportunity to, like, put me in there. And they knew that I wasn't aware of, like, what was actually going on. And so I was in there, and the crazy part about it is we were on a hurricane watch and the city got shut down. So the day that they shut the city down was the day that I got put into that psych ward, and it was shut down for probably about a whole week. So I was in there from a Wednesday to the next Wednesday. And let me tell you, that was the most traumatic thing that I feel like I ever experienced. And that was the beginning of my awakening. And during that process, I was isolated. I couldn't really talk to nobody. They did have the little phones there and stuff, but I couldn't really talk to nobody. And my friends at the time, they were calling me, and I was like, oh, like, you know, trying to, like, can you talk to him? Can you tell him to call me? Even when I did speak to my ex, he was so detached and nonchalant, and he was just acting like he couldn't, like, you know, comfort me or anything like that. And in that time, in that isolation, I really had to figure my way out, because some people in there, they was really trying to get me. Like, they was really trying to make me to seem like I was this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs person. Mind you, I've never had a history of doing anything. I never really spoke up about my issues. So I was forced to go to therapy. They were trying to keep me in there longer than what I was supposed to be. And I had to really put on my poker face, tell these people, like, you know, like, I am, you know, in my right mind, and I can think. Like, I was just under a lot of pressure and I just didn't know how to handle it. And, you know, I have a 3.3 GPA. I'm in these clubs. Like, I just have all these things. I made Dean's List all of my years of college. Like, I have, like, a very good record. So I really had to just, like, really vouch for myself. My mom, she couldn't come in there. She couldn't really talk to me. Like, she couldn't really do much. I was in there by myself. And I remember she gave me this book called The Shack. And I was just talking to God and letting God know, like, I'm surrendering to what is, like, really turning my life around. That's a big reason why I was really not for alcohol and stuff. I didn't drink for probably, like, a good 2 or 3 years. Like, the thought of it made me, like, the smell of it, the sight of it just made me, like, I couldn't do it because of where I was and how deep I had got into those things. And so when I got out, I was so happy, but things were still, like, constricted for me. Like, I couldn't do certain things. Like, I couldn't even have my phone. Like, I had to go to therapy, all these things, and really had to, like, just, like, check in. I guess it's kind of like how people, well, I ain't gonna compare it to that, but in a sense, I guess it's kind of like having, like, a parole officer. Like, I had to check in every week with the school, with my therapist, like, just, like, with a whole bunch of things. And, like, they were giving me these medications. I didn't even tell them the side effects or what the medications was having me do, like, when I was sleeping. But every time I used to take them pills, like, I would go to sleep when I was in that psych ward, and I would have dreams about dying. Like, either I was falling off a cliff, or, like, it was just me. But I never told them people that because I felt like if I did, they were gonna, like, keep me in there longer. And it's just like, I know myself, like, I know that I'm not crazy, but they put me in an institution and in a facility that made me go more insane. And I just knew that my life was made for something more. Like, and I say this now, I'm not scared of nothing. Like, if I can't even take my own stuff out, what makes you think somebody else can do it? No, like, not under God's watch. It's not gonna happen. And so I really had to had my come to Jesus moment. And that was just the start of everything, of this whole this whole journey of where I even created Experience A-List and meditation and mindfulness. And so from that experience, it really opened my eyes up to spirituality. And I was just so eager to know myself, to really dive deeper. And so that was 2017, September. And so about 6 to 8 months later, that's when I really dived into the spirituality. And then I started learning more about my astrology, my birth chart, and like even finding out like me being like a Virgo moon and rising. I'm like, wow, that's so crazy how that happened in Virgo season. And then I just always look at the patterns of the seasons of my life. And what's funny is, so my birthday is March 5th. And so that happened on September 5th. So that was literally 6 months like after my birthday. And then what's crazy enough about that too was a week after my birthday, I had gotten in a car accident that same year. My car got ran into. But it was just a series of events that were happening, and I know that it had prepared me to get into my awakening, because in 2018 Virgo season I got pregnant. And it was just like a series of events that were just happening. I just realized that I had to really love myself. And through that awakening, I had to learn like what I liked and what I didn't like, what I was tolerating and why was I tolerating those things. Learning how to love myself, and even getting into that relationship and getting pregnant, like I was awakened to deeper parts of myself that I was either blind to or rejecting or in denial about. And now more than ever, I'm just grateful for all those experiences, because it taught me to pour into myself and to really learn like, okay, I know that I'm this type of way and I'm this type of lover and I'm this type of friend or person, or how I pour into people, and I have to be able to be with people who are able to reciprocate that and to really pour back into me where there is a balance and not a depletion. And I noticed that from that period of time and a little bit after, like I was really in relationships and dynamics, and not just romantic but platonic, family relationships, where I was just giving, and I wasn't really receiving. Me not even knowing how to speak up, I had to learn how to exercise my throat chakra, which is something that I got into with the chakra alignment. Even speaking on camera, like you couldn't have told me 7 years ago that I was gonna be here. People, like a lot of my friends at that time, they were like, you should do YouTube. It's like, okay, no, because I'm shy. Like I don't even know how to express myself properly. Of course to them, because it's like I'm comfortable with them and I can speak to them and I can, be myself in that sense. But as far as like strangers and other people, no, like I wasn't going for it. But I knew that I had a lot of wisdom. I knew that my energy was good. I knew that I, made the vibrations in places rise higher. And so now that I'm comfortable within myself, that I love myself, and that I pour in myself, I have these boundaries. I have this testimony to talk about, because even when you feel like you're at the pits of hell and the nitty-gritty of things and you feel like there's no way out, there is. You really have to trust and surrender and speak to God, and you have to pray, and you have to know that you will make it through. For me, I felt helpless. And even when I wanted to end it all, I couldn't. I literally couldn't. And I see why, because I'm here to talk. I'm here to give my story. I'm here to enlighten people and to bring the mindfulness and the meditation and the accountability, because I know there's people out there just like me. And I started to find people out there like me who had similar stories, or were having these mental blocks, and the ways that they were able to get out of it. And I'm just grateful that I get to talk and to be open and not be afraid, and to really advocate for people who struggle with their mental health, who struggle with self-worth, and putting themselves first. Because at the end of the day, if you don't fill up your cup, if you're not there for you, how can you truly be there for other people? You'll constantly perpetuate this cycle of people pleasing, of living in fear, of not having enough, not knowing how to set boundaries. And that is something very, very important, especially now in this day and age with technology and the things that are going on in our society with politics and entertainment, with personal life things, family, friends, intimate relationships. Like these are all important things that weren't really taught to me, and I know a lot of people in my generation. These are things and basic fundamentals of life that are important for us in our mental health. And mental health has been on the rise. The awareness of mental health has been on the rise for the past few years, and I'm excited that I was able to take that traumatic experience and turn it into a testimony, not only for myself, but a story that could help and guide people and lead them into a better and higher direction. Surrender, pray, find what works for you, know yourself. It takes time. Like, you have to be able to isolate yourself. You have to be able to say, like, okay, this does not make me feel good, and having the faith and having the courage to step out and be like, I'm no longer going to subscribe to this narrative. I'm no longer going to allow these people to paint me in this way. I'm no longer going to allow myself to be a victim to life, but to be the victor of life. And with that being said, if you all have not heard this before, I'm going to say it again. And I call this my A-list prayer of affirmation. And it goes like this. I am pure, love, protected, because through chaos, I am silent. I shine bright. I am vibrant. I live life like a movie and glimmer radiant as a ruby. I am divine, your highness. With more time, I'll be the lightest. Like God, my creator, I grow abundantly. Call me Mother Nature. My power is strong. My words are wise. My energy is sacred, and my heart is divine. I am a powerful queen who is confident in her speech, wise in her decisions, and strong in leadership. I live in authenticity and purity, and for any injustices formed against me shall face the consequences in the order of the divine that raises me. For I have no enemies. For anyone who is my enemy shall fall before me, and watch me rise before them. And so it shall be. Because God granted me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And so it shall be. Because I am pure, love, protected. Thank you all for joining me in this video. I really pray that this touches somebody, and know that you are worthy. Know that you're able to make it out any storm, and that you are the alchemist of your life. God loves you. God is here with you. You have people out here that you don't know, people like me, who are sending you the good vibes, who are sending you this energy, who are sending and praying for you, and that advocate for you and your mental health. Let me know what you all think. Share this with someone who you believe that this can enlighten and change their life. Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure you follow and subscribe to me on all platforms at Experience A-List, and I'll catch you on my next one. Ciao.